This is where a phony level 10 Homeland Security alert was staged on election night. The administration building was locked down. Independent observers were not allowed to watch the vote count. Not even the media was allowed inside. Erica Solvig, who now writes for the Desert Sun in Palm Springs, broke the story. She was writing for the Cincinnati Enquirer, young reporter, had been an intern right out of the University of Ohio, and they kept her on because she did such a good job. At midnight, Warren County, usually one of the first counties to report, had not turned in their election results. So Erica drove up to find out why and found the building locked down, surrounded by armed police and bomb-sniffing dogs. And she ascertained that neither the federal government nor the state government had any word of any terrorist threat. She then obtained emails back and forth 8 days before the election between the Director of Building Services and the Director of Emergency Services in Warren County planning the lockdown. Even the wording of the signs to be posted on the building warning of this terrorist threat. Now, if only we had known about 9/11 8 days in advance. 5 days before Election Day, the lockdown was approved behind closed doors by the county commissioners. A couple of days before Election Day, the Board of Elections was notified that the building was going to be locked down. I found that out by talking to the director of the Board of Elections. So what happens on Election Day? We have a witness who came to the Free Press with a hand-drawn map of the lay of the land in Warren County. He said that ballots were driven up Justice Drive and up here to the Building Services storage facility, and they were held there for 3 or 4 hours after the polls closed in an unauthorized warehouse before they were brought in the loading dock through the back door and into the Board of Elections building. Well, the next slide is the Google Earth image, just to show how accurate his map is. He even had true north right at the top and right orientation of this funny shaped building. That's the Board of Elections building. There's the Building Services storage facility over here. There's the loading dock. Erica Solvig was standing here, not allowed to go back here. She saw ballots being brought in the loading dock from the northeast corner at 12:30 in the morning. The director of the Board of Elections likewise told me quite independently ballots were still being brought in at 12:30 in the morning. She told me that the ballots were not brought directly by the precinct judges, all 157 of whom were Republicans, were not brought directly to the Board of Elections, but were unloaded by kids. And they were not run through the tabulator by the Board of Elections, but by a technician for the Triad voting machine company. And my question is, why were kids handling presidential ballots at 12:30 in the morning on a school night during a level 10 Homeland Security alert? So I don't believe her story. And so here's how to explain the election results in Warren County. The simplest explanation I can come up with, consistent with the observed evidence. It's the only punch card county in Ohio with both anomalies. John Kerry got far fewer votes than Ellen Connolly, and George W. Bush got far more votes than the amendment banning gay marriage. So there had to be thousands of gay-friendly Bush voters and thousands of Ellen Connolly voters who punched for Bush as well, or else the ballots are not real. In the 15 audited precincts, we saw 400 ballots that were straight ticket gay-friendly Republicans. A vote for a Republican candidate for every contested office and a vote for a gay marriage. Among the ballots that were punched for gay marriage in the 15 audited precincts, most of them, more than half, were punched for Bush. I don't know anybody who believes that if you were a champion of gay marriage, you were more likely to have voted for Bush than for Kerry. If Kerry couldn't get those votes, where did he get his votes? And 60 to 70% of the ballots punched for Ellen Connolly, for a liberal black municipal judge from the opposite corner of the state who spent a nickel per vote received in the state and never set foot in southwestern Ohio. 2/3 of her ballots are punched for Bush. And we found this in other Connolly anomaly counties as well. which is why you don't just recount the ballots for the race you're interested in. You have to do whole ballot analysis. You have to compare and see if it makes sense that the same voters would have made these choices on the same day. You have to compare to the voters' signature books to make sure you even have the right number of ballots. Are there too few? Are there too many? And the only reason we were able to prove fraud in Ohio is because 85% of the ballots were cast on paper. This is not a reason to abandon paper ballots. This is a reason to count them at the precincts. With the paper ballots counted by hand at the polling place in full public view on election night, no matter how long it takes. This is